Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daria if you're new here, and today's practice is called Sweet and Slow. This practice is all about slowing down the movements to find the sweetness, to find the ease within the effort in all of our poses. This is great for when you're first waking up in the morning just to get your body moving, or maybe as a practice at the end of your day to help you wind down and process anything that's moving through your physical space. So you just need yourself and someplace to move today, and whenever you're ready, let's get into it. We'll start from seated. So find your way to Sukhasana if you're not already here, and just rest your palms onto your thighs. They can face up or they can face down. Just go wherever is feeling good in your body. And then allow your eyes to fall closed and start to sink your awareness through your physical body really thoroughly. See how much you can feel from the inside out and check in with how you're doing. Notice different kinds of sensations. Sometimes there are sweet sensations. Other times they might feel a little less sweet. But notice if you want to avoid the ones that you don't gravitate toward, and see if instead you can hold space for everything equally without judging it or trying to change it, but just being with it. Now begin to slow down your breath. And as the breath slows, make it more of a full body experience as well, so that the inhale travels from the base of your spine all the way past the top of your skull. And as it does, literally grow your spine longer, make yourself taller. When you exhale, feel the power of the exhale breath to anchor you more deeply to the surface beneath you and to clear and rinse away some of the rough edges around your sensations. We'll just be here for a couple more breaths. Let's take a few clearing ones all together. So inhale to fill up fully through the nose. When your exhale comes, open your mouth and take a sigh. Feel the powerful effects of that sigh to rinse and clear. Again, breathing in. Big breath out, release. You can keep going with those as many times as you'd like, and maybe return to the open mouth breath throughout the practice when you feel you need a little rinse. When you're ready, start to fade in Ujjayi Pranayama, breathing in and out through your nose. And let the sound of the breath be soothing. One more inhalation. And exhale. Draw your palms to prayer at heart center and set an intention for your practice to continue noticing all the different kinds of sensations, whether they be sweet or not so sweet, and challenge yourself to move through everything from a place of compassion. Noticing when you do this, sometimes the spicier or more sour sensations begin to sweeten over time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Blink your eyes open. Find your way up into tabletop. Hands and knees. Spread your fingers and press into the pads of all 10 fingers so you have a really solid foundation. Now begin to make some circles through your body. They could be circles into the ribs, or maybe through the hips, through the pelvis, circles through the neck, the head. Just kind of explore your space and allow your body to move freely in any direction that you like. Stay really deep and full with your breaths. If you want to add some arching and rounding through the spine, like a few rounds of cat-cows, you're welcome to do that, or any other movement that you're craving. When your next inhale breath comes, start to neutralize your spine, and then with your exhale, crawl your fingertips forward as you tilt your sit bones to the sky, coming into Anahatasana, puppy pose, melting either the forehead or the chest and the chin to the earth. Imagine that your thumbs and your index fingers are magnetized toward one another on the opposite hand. So there's kind of a squeezing toward the midline, and as a result, a broadening of your upper back, a spreading of the shoulder blades. Really allow your belly to melt and allow your heart to melt. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Press down and walk yourself back up into tabletop. So shoulders are over the wrists. Tuck your toes. Breathe in. When you breathe out, send your hips up and back to the sky, coming into downward facing dog. Take time here. Let's be in no rush to get anywhere throughout this class. And really grip into the mat with your fingers and with your toes. Take a little bit of pressure off of your wrists. Keep the magnetizing of your palms toward the midline, but then also reach them deeply down toward the center of the earth and press them forward toward the top of your mat. Now micro bend your knees, dig into your toes and press them down, and then toward the back of your mat. So it's like you're stretching yourself into the earth equally in opposite directions. It's like you're trying to rip your mat in half. And as you do this, you'll notice your spine starts to grow longer and longer and longer. Sweeten the quality of your breath and spread it through your spine. Now, begin making figure eights with your hips here. So it's like a pedaling of the feet. You'll notice as you swivel the hips, one knee will bend and the other will stretch straight-ish. But then really try to feel that inner action of the figure eight shape. It's kind of like a subtle movement. And if you'd like, you can allow the figure eight to wave a little bit up your spine laterally, taking some glides through the ribs side to side as a result of like the wave that travels up your hips. And then get steady once again. Now make little ripples through your spine, going forward and backward. So breathing in, lift your heels, pull in and up through your pelvic floor, get hollow in your front body and rounded in your back body. And then do the opposite, just arching your sitting bones up to the sky, reach the crown of your head forward. Take a couple of these at your own pace. Imagine that your pelvis is like a bowl of water and you're dropping something into that bowl, which creates this ripple all the way up through your spine, forward through your head, and then it rebounds back in space, carrying you into down dog again. Couple more times. You can go really slow or start to pick up your pace. Next breath in, look forward to your thumbs, and then breathe out. Travel your feet to the top of the mat really, really slowly. You could stay on tiptoes if you'd like. And then eventually land your feet to the top of your mat, behind your wrists, and bow down into ragdoll. Let everything hang. It's like your body, your spine is like fabric draping over your thighs. And so there's no shape to it. It gets like watery, waterfall effect forward. You could rock side to side. If there's an arm variation that you are craving, feel free to take it. I'm going to do a little chest expansion, fingers at the base of the spine, interlacing them there, and then stretching fists to the sky as the heart anchors forward. One more breath here. Inhale fully. Exhale, soften. If you took an arm variation, release it. Press into your feet. Keep a bending into your knees, a little bend, and slowly round your spine. Come all the way up to stand, one vertebra at a time. Really experiment with how slow you can go. And as you move slowly, notice how much more you can feel. Let your head be the last thing to stack at the very top. And then roll your shoulders away from your ears. Press into your feet. Breathe in, reach your arms wide. Reach all the way up to the sky. Look up. When you breathe out, draw your palms to prayer at heart center. Again, inhale, reach up and look up. Exhale, big dive down, forward fold. Imagine you're moving through water, so there's resistance as you come down, which slows down the quality of the movement. Then take a breath in, ripple through your spine, coming into a halfway lift. Send your tailbone back, send the crown of your head forward. When you breathe out, place your palms to the mat and softly step both feet back, coming into plank. Have your shoulders over your wrists. Press the ground away from you. Breathe in. When you breathe out, sink your knees to the mat, again, moving super slowly. As your knees touch down, bend your elbows. See if you can bring your forearms to the mat. From here, slide forward, lift your forearms, untuck your toes, and come through into a high cobra position. Press into the tops of the feet, energize your thighs, and really lift actively up from your low belly towards your heart. Breathe in here, look up. Breathe out, tuck your toes, send your hips back in space as you arch your back and reach your heart forward to the top of your mat. Breathe in, round your spine like you're coming into a cat pose, onto hands and knees, squeezing in and up through your core. And breathe out, send your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. With your next inhalation, stretch your right leg high to the sky, three-legged down dog. Take your time here. Square your hips. Top of the right thigh points down, right toenails point down. Left big toe is driving down, micro bend your left knee. Take one more breath in here. Energize into the back line of your right leg and see if you can stretch it a little higher. As you breathe out, lift your left heel. Hug your right knee towards your left tricep. From here, flex your right ankle. Hook it outside of your left thigh, and then spiral your left heel to the mat. So your toes point toward the left long edge. Bend your knee and root into the pinky side of your foot. Press your palms down and forward, and then stay here. Or maybe cactus your left elbow toward the sky. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Take another breath in and sweep your left arm all the way forward over your ear. And then as you breathe out, turn to face the top of your mat again. Land your left palm, lift your left heel, hug your right knee to your chest, and take the slowest step forward, right foot to right thumb. Come up onto your fingertips. Angle your left toes a little out and root your heel. Then stretch your right leg towards straight. Pyramid fold. Fingertips can walk forward or maybe back in space, maybe onto blocks if you have them. That can help to elevate the earth. Then breathe in, stretch down into the earth through your feet as you reach the crown of your head forward, taking like a halfway lift. When you breathe out, bow, folding forward over your right thigh. One more breath in. Stay for the breath out. Next inhalation, lift your left heel off the ground. Bend into your right knee. Walk your fingertips even more forward and then press down to come up into a standing L position. Left toes reaching toward the back of your mat. Crown of head reaching forward. Breathe in here. When you breathe out, bend your left knee, bend your right knee, and sink into a Shiva squat. So just squatting down onto the right side. Kick your left heel in close to your sit bone. Then breathe in, stretch out again into L stand, squeezing belly button to spine. Breathing out super slowly, sinking down into the squat. Feel a little heat building in your leg. Feel the sweetness of that heat. And then inhale, stretch back. Exhale, sink into Shiva squat. This time we're going to come all the way down to a seat. So land, top of left foot, then the knee, and then both sit bones to the mat. Right foot is stepped outside of your left thigh. Place your right fingertips down at the base of your spine and drive your right sit bone down into the earth. Then breathe in to lengthen up through your whole left side body. Breathe out and take a twist. Hook your left elbow outside of your right thigh. Every inhale breath that comes, feel the rising of energy from the root of where you sit through the top of your skull. Every exhale breath that comes, feel like the wringing out of the breath as you spiral through your ribs. One more breath in and out. Begin to unwind, facing toward the top of your mat. Now, coming into shoelace or Gomukhasana. So stack more the right knee on top of the left one. Crawl your feet away from one another until this becomes accessible. Press into the pinky sides of your feet, the knife edges. Flex your toes. Root your fingertips beside you and sit up really nice and tall. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, just anchor here. One more inhalation, grow through your spine, and then breathe out, maybe start to fold forward, or you could stay sitting upright if that is feeling really good for you or really opening for you. Working into the outer hips here. So notice the sensations that arise. Sometimes tension when we encounter it is not the sweetest feeling. So see if you can infuse it with breath. And be in no rush to get anywhere, just taking things slow. Feeling the opening as it comes layer by layer. Drop your jaw, relax your cheeks, relax your face. Take one more breath in. And one more breath out. Begin to press down to rise back up if you folded forward. Unwind a little, kick your left heel in towards your body, and then roll over your left knee and shin to step into your right foot. Walk your fingertips forward and wide. Breathe in, press down, and stretch your left leg long and back behind you, standing L. Inhale here. When you breathe out, bow into a standing splits, sinking the weight of your heart. You can walk your hands back in space. It's like you're gonna kiss your shin. And then instead of keeping the hips stacked in the standing splits, go ahead and stack left hip on top of the right one. Open things up and let this just be like really expansive. Spread your toes, air everything out. Take one more breath in. And as you breathe out, step into a fold. Have your feet hips distance apart at the top of your mat and bow in. Breathe in, halfway lift, grow long. Breathe out, fold forward. Next inhalation, long spine. Reach your arms wide and with resistance, rise all the way up to standing. Turn your eyes to the sky as the palms meet overhead. Breathe out and draw your palms to prayer at heart center. Inhale, reach up and look up. Exhale, Uttanasana, dive down, elongate your spine, stretch through your fingers. Breathe in, take a halfway lift, extending forward through the top of your head. When you breathe out, place your palms to the mat and softly step back into plank. Hover here, press the ground away from you. If there are sensations you want to avoid, see if you can dig into them more. Squeeze your thighs, squeeze your core, breathe in. Breathe out, softly sink your knees to the mat. And then magnetize your elbows and sink your forearms down. Then begin to drag your heart forward. So staying really low to the ground through this transition. Dig into your fingertips and then root the tops of the feet and the tops of the thighs. When the next inhale comes, let it rise your spine up into a cobra pose. Inhale here. Exhale, tuck your toes, send your hips back in space. Stretch forward through your heart. See how elongated you can feel your spine is. Breathe in, round your spine, tucking the chin toward the chest, coming to hands and knees. And then breathe out, lift your knees and send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. With your next inhale breath, stretch your left leg high, three-legged down dog. Square your hips here. Close your ribs and press down and forward into both hands evenly as you press down and backward through your right big toe. One more breath in. Breathe out, float your right heel. Hug left knee towards your right tricep. Then Flex your toes and cross left ankle outside of the right thigh. Pivot your right heel down, toes turn out. Bend your knee so pressure comes off the shoulders a bit. And then stay with both hands rooted, or you can cactus your right elbow up to the sky. So it's like a figure 4 side plank. Breathe in. When you breathe out, extend your right arm all the way forward over your head. One more inhale here. Exhale, right palm to the mat. Lift your right heel, turn your toes forward. Then hug your left knee super tight to your chest. Press the ground away from you to create space so you can step forward with the left foot to your left thumb. Come up onto your fingertips. Right foot, walk it a little closer to you, and then turn your toes slightly out and sink your heel. Send your left hip back in space as your right hip glides forward. Pyramid pose. Every breath in, stretching longer. Every breath out, folding in. Couple more rounds here. And with your next breath in, start to lift your right heel. Press straight down into your left foot and then launch into a standing L. Right toes pointing straight down, breathe in and grow long. Breathe out, bend both knees, cross your right knee behind your left one, and take a little one-legged squat here. Inhale, extend, right toes back, crown of head forward. Exhale, sink into your squat. One more time. Breathe in, grow long. When you breathe out, this time coming through Shiva squat, bring your right foot, top of the foot to the ground, and then the shin, and then the knee, and find your way down to a little twisted seat. Left foot outside the right thigh this time. Place your left fingertips down at the base of your spine and sink your left sit bone. Inhale, stretch up through your right side, and exhale to twist. Even taking the twist slow, so you're not going into full depth right away, but it's like this processing that happens up the length of your spine. And some of the deepening of the pose happens in a conscious way, and some of it happens from the more like intuitive inner knowing. So try to feel for that balance. Begin to unwind, facing more forward toward the top of the mat. Keep your legs crossed. Just walk your feet further away from one another until your left knee comes to stacked or stacked-ish on top of your right one. If you'd like, you can always incorporate a prop here. A prop could go under both knees or in between your knees. Sometimes that helps to create a little more space. And then sit up really tall, taking a couple breaths here, upright. Soften or close your eyes. If you'd like, you can begin to fold forward a little or maybe a little more. And become really tuned into how sensations that sometimes don't start very sweet can morph into something sweeter, maybe. But also, if that's not happening, that's okay as long as it's not causing pain. See if, even if it's not sweetness, there can be a little bit of easing of the discomforts. Take one more breath in. And one more breath out. Slowly rise back up if you folded forward. Draw your right heel in a little closer to your body and then roll over your right knee. Come to standing on your left foot. Place your fingertips, then breathe in and stretch your right leg long and back behind you. When you breathe out, dive down into standing splits. Walk your hands back in space. Stretch your right toes up to the sky and open your hips for this standing splits. And breathe through everything you feel. One more inhale. And as you exhale, step down into a fold. Have your feet hips distance apart. And take a Padahastasana, so placing the palms of the hands underneath the soles of your feet. You can bend your knees as much as you need to make this connection. And then let it be a little bit active where you're kind of pulling up on your feet but pressing down on your hands with an equal amount of energy. Squeeze in through your core and try to compress your chest and your belly to your thighs. Toes can wiggle around here to massage the base of the wrists and palms and create a little release. Notice if the back of the neck is hinging in any direction. Try to keep it straightly aligned with the rest of your spine, dropping down. One more inhale breath. And exhale. Lift your toes. Take your hands out from underneath of them. And then widen your feet about hips distance apart. Toes out, heels in. Sink to a squat. Palms to prayer, heart center. Now give your body time to settle in the squat, feeling the anchoring of the feet. Feel the softness in your hip creases, softness of your jaw. Breathe through your spine, close your eyes. Getting a little softer every moment that you stay. One more breath in. Breathe out. Come all the way down to a seat. You can use your hands to the mat or maybe play without. Walk your feet forward. Breathe in. Reach your arms all the way up beside your ears. And breathe out to slowly roll down your spine one vertebra at a time. Place your vertebrae down gently. And then finally, let the back of your head come down and stretch open right away into Savasana. Taking time in Savasana to absorb. If you need a sigh to release any remaining tension or thoughts or distractions, do so. And then just concentrate on the melting effect, almost as though you're going to be absorbed into the space beneath you. That's how much you're dropping control, dropping the engagement of the muscles. And feel how sweet it is to be in this state of surrender and rest. I'll leave you in Shavasana for this practice, and I encourage you to stay there as long as you have time for, to really let yourself rest. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. If you're not subscribed to my channel, you can do that down below. You can also join as a monthly donation member. Both of these really help to support me. Have a great rest of your day or your night, and I'll see you soon in the next class. Bye.